The person seeking a ray continuously pointed out the direction, but it was strange that Lin Moyu and others took a step slower every time. When they arrived, people must have died. Lin Moyu saw the soul of the little gold-devouring beast several times in a row. The moment the soul saw Lin Moyu and others, it would run away quickly. But it didn't happen every time. A few times they encountered the gold-devouring herd. Lin Moyu killed a lot of gold-eating beasts, but people still couldn't save them. Before they arrived, people were already dead. There were a few more corpses in Meng Gang's storage ring, and 2 of them were already fragmented. Everyone felt a little heavy, and now they only rescued 1. A blue light appeared in the distance. After entering Area 6 to 99, he flew around for a long time in order to save people, and finally arrived at Shuojin's area. The closer to the central point, the more Shuojin there will be. These blue light spots look like stars from a distance, but they are all visual errors caused by the refraction of light. In fact, Shuojin is not very big. Pieces of Shuojin are hung in the starry sky like stones, flying around. The small ones are only as big as an adult's head, and the larger ones are no more than 10 meters in diameter. The really big one is the associated ore of Shuojin, gold and silver stone that contains toxins. Gold and silver stones are very large, generally more than 100 meters in diameter, and even as large as 10,000 meters, really like stars. Shuojin seems to grow on gold and silver stones. After its blue light passes through gold and silver stones, it becomes more intense and can be irradiated to farther places. Gold and silver stones look very strange. They are obviously gold and silver in color, and they have different colors when viewed from different angles. But its own light is not strong, but it can strongly reflect Shuojin's light. Lin Moyu also had to sigh, there are all kinds of wonders in the big world. Normally, Shuojin should be an associated mine of gold and silver stone. But some people have seen the whole process of the birth of Shuojin. It is true that Shuojin appeared 1 step earlier, and after the birth of Shuojin, gold and silver stones grew. Moreover, gold and silver stone has no effect, so gold and silver stone is defined as the associated ore of Shuojin. Hey, what's wrong with him? Yuzhu's voice suddenly sounded. Yuzhu looked at the people Rongji was leading in surprise. The guy who was rescued by them, whose whole body was corroded by gold and silver stone poison, has been unconscious all the time. At this time, a lot of gold and silver colors appeared strangely on his body, which looked like gold and silver stones. Lin Moyu felt heart palpitations, and shouted anxiously, "Let go." Rongji was startled, and let go of his hand on the spot. Lin Moyu sipped again, back. Now Lin Moyu's prestige was already very high, and everyone retreated quickly without any hesitation. Withdrawing from 10,000 meters in an instant, Lin Moyu's heart palpitations not only did not weaken, but became more intense. "Continue to retreat, hurry up," Lin Moyu yelled, speeding up and away again. The weakest ones here are the 9th rank of true gods. Once the speed is unfolded, it is ridiculously fast. In the blink of an eye, it is thousands of kilometers. At this time, Lin Moyu's heart palpitations rose to the extreme, and then under his gaze, the corpse exploded. In its body, countless light spots burst out, which are gold and silver stone powder. The powder of gold and silver stone, combined with the blue light of Shuojin, became extremely dazzling. As if a chain reaction had been formed, as the corpse exploded, the nearby gold and silverstone mines also exploded. In an instant, the dense powder covered the starry sky like mist. The diffusion speed of the powder is very fast, far exceeding the flying speed of Lin Moyu al. Passing by like a storm, Meng Gang almost instinctively opened the field of law. The domain of law, which could have covered a large area of starry sky, seemed to be suppressed by external forces, and it could not expand even if it covered a radius of 1 kilometer. The powder was swept away like a storm, and the field of laws was under tremendous pressure, and it was still shrinking. Meng Gang's face changed drastically, his soul leaped out, and he integrated the shield in his hand into the field of law to enhance the defense of the field of law. The field of law finally stabilized, but only a second later, it began to collapse again. The sword and shield of law in the field of law are constantly collapsing, and the range is rapidly shrinking. Although Meng Gang's sharp gold law is not good at defense, the defense power of the soul law domain of the God King realm is not too bad. But now, the speed of the collapse is somewhat unexpected. As the master of the field of law, Meng Gang is very clear about the situation in his field of law. He knew that within half a minute, his law field would collapse. Meng Gang seemed to have remembered something, and his face became extremely ugly. It's troublesome, this is a poison explosion. Lin Moyu has seen some information about the 6 to 99 area, but there is no information about the poison explosion. Yuju's face changed drastically when she heard Meng Gang's words. How could I encounter a poison explosion? Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji obviously didn't know what a poison explosion was, and they asked anxiously, what is a poison explosion? Yuju explained with a bitter face, usually the toxicity of gold and silver stones is released slowly, the toxicity is not strong, it just accumulates, and you can be safe with Zhen Jin Dan. When the toxic explosion occurs, the toxicity of gold and silver stone will explode in an instant. Quote, think about it, what would happen if the toxicity that could have been released for 10,000 years or even longer erupted in an instant? Then there is no need to think, it must be the extinction of all things. Zhenjiandan has no effect. Rongji's face became extremely ugly. So, we are not dead? Wang Zhenghao asked, can't the law field stop it? Meng Gang shook his head, look for yourself. His law field is collapsing, and Wang Zhenghao is also frightened, otherwise he shouldn't be asking such a question. The two looked gloomy and kept muttering, I'm sure I'm dead this time. The spreading speed of the powder is too fast, and it has covered a star field of tens of millions of kilometers in a blink of an eye. With his speed, it is impossible to escape before the law field collapses. Yuju and Meng Gang looked at Lin Moyu incessantly. If anyone can save them now, maybe only Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's eyes flickered slightly, and the Tower of the King of War was fast enough to take them away. But he wasn't sure whether the Battle King Tower could survive the poisonous gold and silver stone powder. In case the Tower of the King of War is damaged, he can't bear it. He has not yet reached the God King realm, and he can still fully exert the power of the Battle King Tower. He can't be like the God of Punishment Fortress, which is finished before it is used. What's more, it is not yet desperate. Lin Moyu doesn't look worried at all, even can be said to be neither happy nor sad, and he is still calm. He didn't feel the power of the law in these gold and silver stone powders. Gold and silver stones are pure poison, which can obliterate the poison of the law. But as long as the law is not involved, it will not cause any harm to oneself. Similarly, it will not cause any harm to its own law field. Lin Moyu did not disappoint Yuju and Meng Gang, and started his own law field. A strange black and white star rose from Lin Moyu's back, which was extremely dazzling in the starry sky. His law domain quickly occupied the starry sky, pushing away all the poisonous powder caused by the poisonous explosion. The highly poisonous powder enough to obliterate the law has no effect on Lin Moyu's law field. It was the first time for Meng Gang to see Lin Moyu's rules. Even when introducing himself, Lin Moyu also said his own rules. At this moment, he stared, what kind of law is this? Lin Moyu did not answer Meng Gang's question. Meng Gang also seemed to realize that he had asked a question that shouldn't be asked. Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't speak, he immediately shut up too. Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji showed joy on their faces at this time, feeling like they were alive after a catastrophe. Yuju is also very curious about Lin Moyu's law field, which can block the poison explosion. Is it because its law is not afraid of severe poison, or it has other abilities? Yuju thought in her heart. She has read a lot of information in the family and is familiar with various laws, but she can't find the corresponding laws. Yuju instinctively felt that the rules used by Lin Moyu should be rules that have not been recorded in the family data. All those extremely powerful laws that she is not qualified to touch yet. Yuju's eyes are full of spirit, and Lin Moyu becomes more and more mysterious and powerful in her eyes. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry at this time, turning a blind eye to the poisonous powder surrounding the field of law. As I expected, poison without laws is nothing at all. It's just that the wisdom of the gold-devouring beast is stronger than I imagined, and things have become difficult. That half-dead guy didn't escape from him, but the gold devourer deliberately released it for me. There must be 16 communication methods between them. They have already known my combat power, so they want to kill me in another way. Send a half-dead cultivator to detonate gold and silver stones when entering the Shuojin area, and kill me in the form of a poison explosion. And just in case, they led us along the way, no wonder they were one step late every time. In this way, I can infer in reverse that there should be many practitioners in the hands of the gold-devouring beasts. With wisdom, the gold-devouring beasts will no longer kill randomly, but will kill in a reasonable and useful way. They caused strange things, attracted people from all ethnic groups to come to rescue them, and finally attracted troops, if they cause poisonous explosions at that time. Lin Moyu pondered, and the whole incident was gradually deduced. At the same time, a bad premonition rose in his heart. If my guess comes true, when the troops of various ethnic groups come in, it will inevitably cause heavy damage. Poison explosion is not unsolvable, but very troublesome. Even God Venerable, caught off guard, can only save some people. What the hell are these guys going to do? Lin Moyu didn't care about the casualties of other races. When you die, especially for hostile races, the more you die, the better. But if the human army came in last, it would not be so wonderful. The human race is fully prepared this time, and it is very likely that they will win the conflict and rush in first. Up to now, my promotion task is meaningless. After thinking about the cause and effect, Lin Moyu also knew what he should do. His eyes swept over Meng Gang, Yuju and the others, and he said in a low voice, "Meng Gang, let's go." Walk. Meng Gang wanted to leave a long time ago. Although he was protected by the law domain, there were deadly poisons everywhere outside. The longer you stay here, the more dangerous you will be. But when Lin Moyu said to leave, he didn't know where to go. Lin Moyu propped up the domain of laws, and quickly moved away with them. After flying tens of millions of kilometers all the way, he finally left the range of the poisonous powder. At this time, Lin Moyu retracted the law domain, took out the Tower of the King of War, come in. No one dared to disobey his orders, not even to ask why. At this time, Lin Moyu looked serious and dignified, and everyone knew that the matter was serious. The King of War Tower was activated, leading everyone to fly into the distance, and disappeared into the King of Starry Sky in a blink of an eye. After they left, pairs of eyes lit up in the poisonous powder, braving blue light. In the highly poisonous powder, there is a gold-eating beast hidden. On top of one of the giant gold-devouring beasts stood a palm-sized pocket gold-devouring beast soul. It looked at the direction where Lin Moyu and others were leaving, and said slowly, "Master, that person is not afraid of poison explosion, he has already left, we didn't do anything." After finishing speaking, it seemed to be listening to something. After more than 10 seconds, it spoke again, and I knew it. Quote, saying it made a soul sound, all the gold-devouring beasts left the poisonous powder and flew towards the other side. The Battle King Tower was very fast, and after flying for half a day, it had already arrived at the position they entered, on the edge of Area 6-99. This is the end of the blue light, an invisible barrier blocking the way. If there is an exit, it is also in this area. But now, the area is quiet, nothing. Meng Gang's expression was not good. "Captain, we can't go out for the time being." Lin Moyu nodded. "I know, some changes have taken place in the mission, leave the next thing to me, you are waiting for me here." Yuju exclaimed, "What are you going to do?" There are two meanings in her words, one is Lin Moyu going to do the task alone, how to do it, will it be dangerous? The second is to keep them here, what should they do if the gold-devouring beasts come over? Meng Gang alone is dead. Meng Gang also had no confidence in himself at the moment. What happened this time was too terrifying, completely different from when he came here before. Lin Moyu naturally understood the meaning of Yuju's words. "I'm just guessing, and I haven't confirmed it yet, so I can't tell you. As for your safety, they are here, as long as you don't run around, you will be fine." With a thought in Lin Moyu's mind, 100 skeleton gods will appear around the crowd, protecting them from all directions. The 100 skeleton generals are like a reassurance pill, which makes people feel at ease all of a sudden. With their protection, basically nothing will happen. But Lin Moyu is still worried. After all, he is the captain, and the safety of the team members must be guaranteed. He thought for a while, and recruited another 100 skeleton generals. 200 skeleton generals formed a layer upon layer of encirclement circles to protect the four of Meng Gang. Yuju's eyes lit up. She thought Lin Moyu could have 100 skeleton generals as the limit, but she didn't expect it to be far from 877. It seems that 200 is not the limit. There are so many puppets, where did he come from? Did he find some ancient ruins? These skeletons don't look like puppets of our human race. It's so mysterious. Yuju is very interested in Lin Moyu and wants to find out. Lin Moyu said, "With their protection, safety should not be a problem. You are waiting here. As long as they don't die, it means that I am still alive. If I die, you will be lucky." Meng Gang nodded. He understood that Lin Moyu wanted to do the task by himself, and all of them were burdensome. Thinking about it, if it wasn't for Lin Moyu's protection along the way, he would have died long ago. Meng Gang raised a question: if there is an exit, should we leave first? Lin Moyu thought for a while, then shook his head and said, if there is no danger, just an exit, don't move and wait for me to come back. If I'm dead and there is another exit, you all go out. Lin Moyu didn't know what was going on outside, in case there was already a scuffle outside. A few of them went out, and they might have become cannon fodder before they figured out what was going on. And it's hard to say where it's going to go out here. In case of entering the range of hostile races, it is also a dead word. Meng Gang nodded. I understand, Captain, be careful. Yuju immediately responded, you have to be careful, I'm still waiting to trade with you. Lin Moyu held the person-finding array disc, but did not activate it. After asking Meng Gang and others to stay, the missing person disc returned to Lin Moyu's hands. Use it not only to find people, but also to point out the direction. Lin Moyu had a vague guess in his heart. He felt that the cultivators of the human race, and even the cultivators of other races, were not dead yet. If the gold-devouring beast has no wisdom, then these people will undoubtedly die. The gold-devouring beasts passing through the wind will not leave a single one alive. But once they have wisdom, especially if they are not weak enough to design traps and carry out sneak attacks, then the missing human cultivators may still have hope of surviving. It's just that I don't know what those gold-devouring beasts are going to do. According to the current situation, I can't further analyze it. Lin Moyu flew towards the center. If the gold devourer really planned something, it must be in the center area. There is the most gold and silver stones there, and it is the best place for the gold-eating beast. He kept thinking about the information about the gold-devouring beast, and gathered all the information he knew. Yuju and Meng Gang said, no one knows where the gold-devouring beast came from. Every time the gold-devouring beast appeared suddenly, then disappeared abruptly. But someone guessed that it should have something to do with the Shuojin essence in the center. If the gold-devouring beasts are really related to the Shujin essence, then the place where they are most likely to exist now is there. Lin Moyu was sitting on the Battle King Tower, and his speed was very fast. After half a day, he had already seen the poisonous explosion of gold and silver stones, forming a powder spray area. This huge area covering tens of millions of kilometers has become a dead zone. Even if there is Zhenjiandan, it is a dead end after entering. Even if it is the third rank of God King, it won't last long. The probability of a poison explosion is very low, but once it happens, there is no other way but to wait for it to dissipate on its own. The whole process may take hundreds of years, and during this time, this area is a forbidden area for life. The restricted area of life is only for others, and for Lin Moyu, it is completely ignored. This time, he didn't even bother to expand the law field, so he flew rapidly in the poisonous area. The powder was knocked away and did not cause any harm to Lin Moyu at all. Lin Moyu looked around, his heart moved, and his fingertips glowed slightly. The million-meter-long eye of the dead appeared in the starry sky. Stellar spell, Undead Gaze. I haven't used this spell for a long time. The enemies I face are too strong, and the stare of the undead does not have the bonus of multi-star spells. The shortcoming of insufficient power is gradually revealed. Later, Lin Moyu only used it for auxiliary attacks, and no longer regarded it as the main attack method. But the range that the eye of the undead can cover is not comparable to that of the skeleton god general. Even if you don't use it against the enemy, it's a good way to observe it. Connected to the perspective of the eyes of the dead, Lin Moyu checked the starry sky within a radius of millions of kilometers. Quiet and quiet, there is nothing but highly toxic powder. Let's go. Lin Moyu murmured. He had already discovered the group of gold-eating beasts hidden in the poisonous powder before. But at that time, he just wanted to send Meng Gang and others away, so he didn't do anything to the gold-devouring beasts. Moreover, the situation at that time was that although the group of gold-devouring beasts hid themselves and half-surrounded themselves, they also did not take the initiative to make a move. Perhaps they wanted to see themselves poisoned to death, but it was a pity that they disappointed the gold-devouring beasts. Now he went and returned, and the gold-devouring beasts were gone. Looks like he left. I thought to myself, since the gold-devouring beasts are no longer there, there is no need to waste any more time. The halo of the law of speed of light appeared under his feet, and Lin Moyu flew towards the central area at a speed of 30,000 km per second. This place has come to Shuojin area, and Shuojin is flying around in the starry sky like cannonballs. At the same time, there are gold and silver stones like stars, flying around with shuojin. Gold and silver stone is not only poisonous, but also extremely strong. The closer to the central area, the density of shuojin and gold and silver stones will increase significantly, and it is not suitable to use the Battle King Tower to fly here. Lin Moyu can only fly physically. Although the speed is not as good as the Tower of the King of War, his flexibility is completely superior. Moreover, Lin Moyu has a strong physical body. Even if he is accidentally bumped into, it will not cause any serious problems. Beside Lin Moyu, a skeleton god will follow closely. From time to time, Lin Moyu connects to the vision of the skeleton general, and uses the perspective of the undead to check the surrounding situation. After flying for half a day, Lin Moyu faintly felt something was wrong. It was so quiet. There is nothing here except the roaring shuojin and gold and silver stones. There are neither gold-eating beasts nor cultivators of all races. According to the data, there are quite a few collectors in Shuojin's area, and practitioners of various ethnic groups often clash here. But now, he has been flying for half a day, and the speed of 30,000 kilometers per second has exceeded 1 billion kilometer. The distance of 1 billion kilometer is not a big deal on the scale of the big world. But it can already be compared with the diameter of a small galaxy. Such a distance has not met any race of creatures, which is very abnormal in itself. Lin Moyu took out the person-finding disc and activated it casually. The array plate burst into shining light, the light jumped a few times and then went out, and no arrow appeared. In the tens of thousands of kilometers nearby, there are no surviving human cultivators. This situation is different from before, and a few cultivators of the human race can always be found, although they will all die before the past. It was confirmed before and after, and also confirmed Lin Moyu's guess. The reason why the cultivators of the human race could be found before was because the gold-devouring beast guided them and wanted them to fall into the range of poison explosion. But now, that doesn't seem to be needed. Lin Moyu kept the person-finding array open, and continued to fly towards the central area. The information says that the area where Shuojin appears has a diameter of about 60 billion kilometers. At my speed, it takes about 30 days to fly. The speed is really slow, 30 days is too long, I don't know what will happen outside. Lin Moyu was a little helpless, his speed was already very fast for the real God realm. Even if it is the peak of the true God, unless it also masters the laws of speed, otherwise it will be slower than him. So it's not that he is slow, but that the starry sky is too big. Suppressing the slight agitation in his heart, the only plan for now is to fly with all his strength, there is no other way. No good. Lin Moyu ignored Shuojin and Jinyanshi, and flew towards the central area like a streamer. From time to time, he connected to the perspective of the skeleton general to observe the surrounding situation. As he got deeper and deeper, the concentration of shuojin and gold and silver stones was increasing, which also caused Lin Moyu's speed to gradually decrease. In order to maintain the speed, several skeleton generals appeared beside him. The skeleton god will hold a bone sword, open the way with sword energy, and abruptly cut a straight passage for Lin Moyu. In 5 days, it flew tens of billions of kilometers. During this period, there was no response from the person hunting array, which made Lin Moyu even more certain that if those practitioners had not been killed, they would have been arrested. If they were all killed, it would be easy to deal with, as long as they found the gold-devouring beasts and killed them as much as possible. If caught, instead, there will be some headaches. Once again habitually connected to the skeleton general's field of vision, Lin Moyu suddenly let out a light snort. He saw the flame of the soul. The deep sea-like blue halo rolled over like waves. The line of sight is greatly affected, and the visible distance becomes extremely short. With the eyesight of the true gods, the farthest can only see the area within 1,000 kilometers. 1,000 kilometers is too short. Shuojin's flying speed is amazing. 1,000 kilometers is just a blink of an eye, and it doesn't even need to blink. The soul is also affected by gold and silver stones, and cannot sense the surroundings. The toxicity of gold and silver stone is increasing, and it can even poison the soul. Although Lin Moyu is not afraid of toxins, but the telepathy is not as easy to use as the undead vision of the skeletons. In the past few days, Lin Moyu has connected to the vision of the undead more and more frequently. Unfortunately, nothing was found. But now, in the vision of the undead, there are beating flames. In the skeleton's vision of the undead, the soul is like a flame, constantly beating. Like a flame in a skull. Even in death, as long as the soul is still there, the flame exists. This time, Lin Moyu saw a flame. It was a fire group composed of 23 soul flames. Explain that there are 23 living beings who have not yet died. And outside this group of flames, there are densely packed flames. The flames are scattered or gathered, one after another, groups of people. No need to look, Lin Moyu knew the situation. Some people were surrounded by gold-devouring beasts, but there was no response from the person finding a ray, which meant that they were not human. There are 23 creatures in total. No, it is 22. Just as Lin Moyu was observing, a soul flame went out and someone was killed. The remaining 22 people seemed to be getting closer together, shrinking into a ball. The encirclement of the gold-devouring beast also became tighter. Lin Moyu knew that the time left for them was running out. He flew over immediately. The opponent was not a human race, and Lin Moyu didn't even think about saving them. But if you finally meet a living creature, you should be able to learn some news from it. With a distance of 1,000,000 kilometers, Lin Moyu has arrived in less than a minute. The gold-devouring beast found Lin Moyu, tens of thousands of kilometers away, and attacked one after another. The deep blue light, covered with mottled light spots, bombarded with the poison of gold and silver stones. At the same time that the gold devourer started, Lin Moyu also made a move. White light flickered around him, and thousands of skeleton gods appeared out of thin air, wielding their swords and shields to kill them. The skeleton god general's battle power has reached the second level of God King, and it would be a massacre against ordinary gold-eating beasts. The sword energy pierced the starry sky, and a large number of gold-eating beasts were killed on the spot, and pieces of extremely high-purity shujin appeared in the starry sky. In the vision of the undead, a large piece of soul flame was extinguished. The gold-eating beast hides itself with the blue light of shujin, which can avoid people's eyes and ears, and can avoid the soul induction, but it cannot escape the sight of the undead. The skeleton god will kill the past, and the battle situation is showing a one-sided trend. Lin Moyu followed and saw the people surrounded by gold-devouring beasts. Golden Eagle Clan. Looking at the Golden Eagle clansmen with wings and shining golden light, Lin Moyu's eyes flashed with determination. The Golden Eagle clan is the same enemy as the human clan, and they are also immortal, not much better than the evil clan. Among the various races that invaded the human race back then, the damage caused by the Golden Eagle race to the human race was not much worse than that of the demon race, and even worse. The Golden Eagles claimed at the time that the human race was nothing more than their blood food. Life stars, life galaxies, and hundreds of millions of peoples have become their food. They even raised human races in captivity, completely treating human races as food. Later, Xiao Zhangshan became powerful and turned back, not only driving the Golden Eagle clan back, but also massacred a large number of Golden Eagle clan members. It is said that back then Xiao Zhangshan single-handedly entered the ancestral land of the Golden Eagle clan, killing blood like rivers. Since that time, the Golden Eagle clan has been unable to retreat for the next 1,000 years. It's just that Lin Moyu doesn't know why Xiao Zhangshan didn't wipe out the Golden Eagle clan back then. It is impossible to let go of the blood feud between the two sides. Of the 22 Golden Eagles, the strongest among them is the second-rank God King, but he has already suffered serious injuries, and only one is left. There is still a first-rank God King left, and the rest are true gods. The aura of their previous battles has not been put away, and Lin Moyu can easily feel the opponent's realm. The soul is too sensitive. This kind of thing is not difficult for Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's eyes were cold and murderous. When the Golden Eagles met Lin Moyu, it was all by chance. Watching the skeleton god slaughter the gold-devouring beast, he showed incredible eyes. They don't believe that Lin Moyu is here to save them. If the gold-eating beast is a wolf, then Lin Moyu is a tiger. The future is bleak, dead. Although the skeleton god general was fighting the gold-devouring beasts, he faintly did not leave any way for them to retreat. It is impossible to escape. Several gold-eating beasts rushed out. Compared with ordinary gold-eating beasts, they were a circle larger in size and exuded the aura of the God King realm. The first rank of God King, an elite gold-eating beast. Lin Moyu had dealt with elite members of the Gold Devourer in the tunnel before. But at that time it was just fighting, and I didn't see the opponent's appearance clearly. This is the first time I've seen it. The scale armor on the elite Gold Devourer exudes a hazy blue light. Not only is it larger in size, but there are also some gold and silver spots on the scale armor. From the appearance alone, elite gold-eating beasts are more powerful than ordinary gold-eating beasts. But it's only the first level of the God King, and it's still a death sentence against the skeleton God General. Just a face-to-face, dozens of sword chi slashed across the starry sky, and several elite gold-eating beasts were decapitated on the spot, and their bodies were torn apart by the sword chi. The body of the elite gold-devouring beast dissipated, and several pieces of purer gold appeared in the starry sky. At this moment, Lin Moyu saw 5 larger gold-devouring beasts appearing in the starry sky. These gold-eating beasts are larger than the elite-level gold-eating beasts, with thicker scales and denser gold and silver spots on them. The captain-level gold-eating beast, the second-level God King. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly. He didn't care about the 5 captain-level gold-eating beasts. All his eyes fell on the head of the gold-devouring beast in the middle. On its head, a small gold-devouring beast is falling there. The palm-sized gold-eating beast exists in the form of a soul, and the soul looks at Lin Moyu with interest. In his gaze, Lin Moyu saw both curiosity and vigilance. Then it uttered a sound called the voice of the soul, and the sound was like the roar of a giant beast, spreading throughout the starry sky. The gold-eating beasts, which were fighting desperately with the skeleton God General, all turned around and disappeared into the starry sky. The bodies of the 5 captain-level gold-devouring beasts faded and disappeared, leaving together with the soul of the palm-sized gold-devouring beast. Shuojin's blue light is the flying machine of the gold-devouring beast. Under the blue light, the gold-devouring beast can fight and walk whenever it wants, and even has the ability to appear and disappear. They want to escape and are difficult to chase. That little gold-devouring beast soul surprised Lin Moyu. It has wisdom. Is the trap set by it? The group of gold-devouring beasts obviously obeyed its command. Lin Moyu thought in his heart, when they met for the first time, they didn't feel this way. But now it seems that I was negligent at the time. After thinking about it for 2 seconds, Lin Moyu put it down for the time being without realizing it. Once the gold-devouring beast is dealt with, then it's time to deal with the Golden Eagle clan. The Golden Eagle tribe formed a group. They were completely desperate. Lin Moyu is so strong and those skeletons are so scary. After the gold-devouring beasts retreat, the skeleton god will quickly surround the Golden Eagle clan. There was a sneer in Lin Moyu's eyes. He didn't use Ding tilde Kongju. Because within the range covered by Shuojin's light, the space is wavy and unstable. All kinds of teleportation items will lose their original effects here, and have a similar effect to the fixed space beads. That's why they couldn't escape. Human. Among the Golden Eagle clan, the God King with a broken wing was about to speak, but was interrupted by a sharp sword light. The skeleton gods launched a fatal attack. The face of the king of the Golden Eagle tribe changed drastically, the law field opened, the soul jumped out, the feathers fell off, and merged into the king of the law field. The shield of feathers has greatly enhanced the strength of the field of law. The sword energy of the skeleton god fell on the field of law, and the sound of the soul sounded like iron, echoing in the starry sky. The huge attack power of the sword chi made the field of law crumbling. The king of the Golden Eagle clan shouted loudly, "I can tell you about the gold-devouring beast." His voice came out and reached Lin Moyu's ears. Lin Moyu shook his head and chuckled. "I don't believe the words of living people. Do not believe the words of the living. What does it mean? Does he still believe in the words of the dead?" But at this point, the Golden Eagle God King also knew that Lin Moyu could not let them go. He roared, "Go out. That being the case, you can only choose to break through. As for whether it will be successful or not, I don't know, but I have to give it a try. After all, he is the second rank of God King. If he desperately breaks through, it is not that he has no chance." A cold light flashed in Lin Moyu's eyes. "Impossible. With a movement in my heart, tens of thousands of skeleton generals appeared in the starry sky in an instant, and the surrounding was even tighter and airtight." The Golden Eagle God King suddenly felt ashamed. There are tens of thousands of skeleton generals. There is no chance. Sword chi swept across, and in the stormy attack, his law field was shattered. 22 members of the Golden Eagle tribe were engulfed by the sword energy at the same time, turning into countless pieces of meat. If it weren't for Lin Moyu's mercy, even the minced meat would not be left behind. Put away most of the skeleton generals, leaving only 100 on guard. One of the skeleton gods flew back with a ball of minced meat. That was the Golden Eagle clan that was killed by the gold-devouring beast before he arrived. It was almost eaten up, and only part of it was left. But for Lin Moyu, it is enough. He glanced at the minced meat floating in the starry sky, and with a wave of his hand, the silver-white flames of the day exploded in the starry sky. In the blue starry sky, a group of flames appeared, sinking and floating in the blue light. Rebirth of flesh and blood, reorganization of soul. The members of the Golden Eagle clan who had just died came back to life one by one. After they were revived, they knelt respectfully in front of Lin Moyu. After becoming a resurrected person, he still retains the consciousness of his previous life, but he will be extremely loyal to Lin Moyu. The God King who had just been resurrected finally understood what it meant not to believe what a living person said. Indeed, with this kind of technique, there is no need to exchange information with others. Lin Moyu looked at the king of the Golden Eagle clan. You can speak now. Obey. As a resurrected God King of the Golden Eagle clan, he would not disobey Lin Moyu's order at all, and immediately told all the information he knew. In his narration, Lin Moyu probably understood the whole thing. He originally collected shuojin in a deeper area, and even tried to collect some shuojin essence to strengthen his soul. As we all know, the essence of shuojin can only be born in the core of shuojin stars. And shuojin stars only exist in the deepest part. He had collected enough shuojin, and when he was about to go deeper, he saw with his own eyes a large number of gold-eating beasts flying out of a shujin star. At that time, there were still many cultivators nearby, and after those gold-eating beasts appeared, they began to hunt down and kill the nearby cultivators. They don't have a specific target. As long as they are creatures, they are their targets. The Golden Eagle God King is also one of them. The gold-devouring beast is very fast, but the Golden Eagle race is also a race that is good at speed, and the speed is not slow either. So he ran for his life crazily, leading the talent of the race, and escaped wave after wave of pursuit. After days of fleeing, he saw more scenes of despair. There is more than one golden star, and there are groups of gold-eating beasts flying out of almost every golden star, and each group of gold-eating beasts has tens of thousands. He roughly counted, and at least 50,000 sin-devouring beasts were dispatched, which was unprecedented. He realized that something was wrong, and began to look for his own people and escape together. The gold-devouring beasts also frantically chased and killed them, and they lost their members along the way, and their clansmen died in battle one after another. From the initial 100 or so people, there are now only 22 people left. Originally there were 5 second-tier God Kings in the team, but now there is only one left. After listening to his words, Lin Moyu had a deeper understanding of the gold-devouring beast incident. This was an unprecedented frenzy of gold-eating beasts. Not only the scale was astonishing, at least more than 50,000 gold-eating beasts were dispatched. This is only the part that the king of the Golden Eagle tribe saw, and what he didn't see. Lin Moyu speculates that the number may still be doubled, and the total number of gold-eating beasts that may be dispatched will exceed 100,000. For every 10,000 gold-eating beasts, a gold-eating beast king will be born. The combat power of the gold-devouring beastmaster is about the 4th rank of the God King. But if there are 100,000 gold-devouring beasts, will a stronger gold-devouring beast king be born, and what level of combat power has reached? In addition, there are more serious problems. That is, members with wisdom were born in the gold-devouring beast. Once possessed of wisdom, the combat power of the gold-devouring beast can be increased several times. 0.00. Coupled with the special environment here, if the army comes in, it will cause a lot of casualties if you are not careful. It's a pity that at that time, the God King of the Golden Eagle clan was only concerned with running for his life, and didn't notice whether those people were all killed or caught by the gold-devouring beast. But these days have passed. Even if he is arrested, it is probably more or less auspicious. Lin Moyu didn't think about this question for now, and ordered, "You search the outer area, looking for survivors of the human race. Don't hurt the human race. Tell me if you have any news. As for you." Lin Moyu looked at the Golden Eagle God King. "Take me to the core area." The talent of the Golden Eagles is speed, and their speed is as fast as flying sickness. The Golden Eagles who have reached the 2nd level of God King can reach at least 80,000 kilometers per second, or even faster. Moreover, they have both speed and flexibility, which can be said to be the best mounts. Having him as a mount can save half the time. The resurrected will not disobey Lin Moyu's order, and immediately fly to Lin Moyu's feet. The rest of the Golden Eagle tribe quickly dispersed and flew towards the periphery. A golden light flew towards the central area like lightning, and the Golden Eagle God King who had just escaped from it a few days ago was going back again. Golden Eagles can rely on their speed talent to escape part of them. The human race is not weaker than the golden eagle race. Although they are not good at speed, they have methods such as magic weapons, and they may still be alive. I don't know what the purpose of this gold-devouring beast tide is, it's really strange. Lin Moyu had a vague feeling that this gold-eating beast dynasty was different from the past, and it was not simple. Inside, there may be deeper reasons for death. The golden light pierced through the blue starry sky, the blue gradually became darker and darker, and the vision became worse and worse. The king of Golden Eagle turned into a mount and led Lin Moyu into Shuojin's core area. It's like a stone falling into the ocean, causing a circle of insignificant ripples. Until a deeper blue light shot from a distance, shining on the body like the light of a star, the faint body felt a bit of warmth. In the line of sight, a dark blue star appeared. Unlike the bright and fiery blue Mars, it has its own unique color. At this time, light smoke rose from the body of the Golden Eagle God King. It seemed to be bathed in flames, and its feathers rustled. Poison. Lin Moyu was taken aback for a moment. The gold and silver stones here are more toxic, only slightly better than poisonous explosions. This also shows that the Shuojin stars in sight contain gold and silver stones with equally astonishing purity and quantity. This kind of toxin can make Lin Moyu's skin feel very intense. Wu Yisan, even a god king can't last long. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly. If Shuojin Xingchen exploded, it exploded like a poison explosion. It is estimated that the God King will be poisoned to death in an instant. Any pills such as Zhenjiandan are useless. Moreover, the range of the explosion can cover at least hundreds of millions of kilometers, and no matter how many troops come, it is a dead word. After all, the highest one who can come in is no more than the third rank of God King. All in all, there is no solution to a dead end. The Golden Eagle God King took out a golden feather, and the golden feather exploded, turning into a touch of golden light, covering the whole body like flowing water. His body became brighter and blocked the toxins. Each race has its own methods, and the Zhenjiandan of the human race is just one of them. The King of Golden Eagle said, "This is where the kid from the Jin dynasty met Lucan who devoured gold." Lin Moyu nodded, and looked down at the search board. There was no response to the person finding a ray disc. Lin Moyu tapped his finger, and 1,000,000 meters of undead eyes appeared in the starry sky. Through the sight of the eyes of the undead, nothing was found either. There are no gold-devouring beasts here, nor any living beings. But it is not without any discovery. Through the eyes of the dead, Lin Moyu saw countless holes on the surface of Shuojin star. Under Lin Moyu's order, the Golden Eagle God King landed on the nearest Shuojin star. There are many holes, all over the entire Shuojin star. Lin Moyu could imagine that the gold-devouring beasts rushed out of these holes. The cave not only has the breath of Shuojin, but also has the toxin of gold and silver stone, and the deeper it goes, the more concentrated the toxin is. Looking into the cave, an unusual color appeared in his eyes. Shenjin essence. According to the data, Shuojin essence will be produced at the core of Shuojin stars. Shuojin essence is not a material, but a elixir, which can enhance the defense of the soul and is of great benefit to the safety of the soul. Lin Moyu originally wanted to finish the task, so he went to get the essence of Shuojin. "You wait here." Lin Moyu gave an order to fly directly into the hole and head towards the interior of the star. On the edge of Area 6-99, the four of Meng Gang waited quietly. Around them are 200 skeleton gods, and they are firmly protected. With their protection, even if you encounter a herd of gold-devouring beasts, you don't have to worry too much. Yuju's expression was a little serious, and she stood upright, looking at the direction where Lin Moyu was leaving, as if she wanted to see Lin Moyu through millions of miles of space. She pondered, "I don't know if Captain Lin has encountered a group of gold-devouring beasts." She originally wanted to call Lin Moyu's name directly, but when the words came to her lips, she changed her name to Captain. After all, it is still a task, and some rules cannot be changed. After the task is over, it can be called whatever you want. Meng Gang whispered, "The captain should be fine, after all, the skeleton is still there." Yuju rolled her eyes. "Mr. Meng, have you ever heard of a puppet? After the master dies, the puppet will die with it." Meng Gang pondered for a few seconds and then shook his head. "I've never heard of it." Meng Gang's answer did not surprise Yuju. Yuju grew up in a family with a long history and rich materials. She has read those materials since she was a child. If there is such a puppet, it's not like she hasn't even heard of it. If it wasn't for the puppet, Yuju suddenly thought of a possibility. Her heart beat 2 beats faster, and she thought to herself, if it's not a puppet, is it a magic spell? Summoning spells, is there such a strong summoning spell? We humans don't seem to be good at summoning spells, even the spirit race who are good at summoning spells don't seem to be so strong. Just when Yuju couldn't figure it out, the space in the distance suddenly fluctuated violently. The space fluctuation immediately caught the attention of several people, and they saw a passage thousands of kilometers away. Then, a team rushed out from the passage. After the team broke out, they immediately formed a square formation in the starry sky, and martial law was imposed in all directions. From this alone, it can be seen that the team is very disciplined. Mengang was overjoyed. It's our human army. A phalanx is a team of 10,000 people. Based on Mengang's understanding of the military, there are 10 teams in this phalanx of 10,000 people. Each team has a captain and a vice-captain, and the strength of the captain and vice-captain is at the level of a god king. And the team members are at least the 8th rank of true gods. Every phalanx of 10,000 people will also have a commander, who is the most powerful in the phalanx. To become the commander of the military, the state is not the most important thing, but the combat power is the most important thing. This kind of people are all geniuses, and they can fight super. Even if they are only the 2nd level God King, their combat power will not be weaker than the 4th level God King. Seeing the army, Mengang immediately relaxed. Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji behind him also breathed a sigh of relief, and said in unison, "It's finally here." "Yeah, it's finally here," Mengang whispered. They were born in the army, and they have inexplicable trust in the military. Now that the military is in, there's nothing to worry about. Yuju's beautiful eyes moved, thinking about what Lin Moyu said before leaving, and said in a low voice, "He really said it." Lin Moyu has made various predictions, one of which is that the army may come in. At this time Mengang got up and flew towards the phalanx. Yuju didn't move, but warned, "Don't forget what the captain told you." Mengang paused slightly. "I know." Mengang was wearing a military uniform, exuding the aura of a god king. After he revealed his identity, the leader of the phalanx immediately came forward and asked Mengang about the situation. In fact, Mengang didn't know much. He just told what he saw and heard after he came in, including some words from Lin Moyu. A moment later, Mengang flew back. Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji immediately asked, "Boss, what should I say?" They are Mengang's subordinates, and they call Mengang God in private. Mengang said, "I told them about the situation and what the captain told them." Yuju chuckled, "They won't listen." Mengang nodded, "Yes, they won't listen. The army is like this," Mengang has long known. Lin Moyu also guessed it a long time ago. Lin Moyu said it at that time, he just said it. It's their business whether to listen or not. Yuju said, according to what the captain said, if the gold-eating beasts really set up traps, a poison explosion would be enough to kill them. Mengang knew that the poison explosion was serious, but he was a little helpless. Others speak lightly, which is useless at all. Yuju said, "Anyway, let's not go. As long as the skeleton is not dead, we will not move." She chooses to trust Lin Moyu. Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji looked at Mengang. "Boss, what do you think?" Mengang was confused for a while. Looking at the slightly nervous looks of the two, it was obvious that they were saying that they should do what they did. In fact, Mengang now has two choices, either to act with the military, or to listen to Lin Moyu and wait here. He believed in the military very much. As long as people from the army were born, all of them were like this. But he also believed in Lin Moyu. After all, Lin Moyu saved his life several times. Just when Mengang was having a hard time making a choice, Yuju's voice came from the side, "Think about Thunderbolt." Mengang was shocked suddenly, and his eyes suddenly opened up. He believed that the military had the means to deal with the poison explosion, but why did he have to take the risk? It's pretty safe here. Mengang made a decision, "We won't leave, we'll just wait here." Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji chose to believe in Mengang. After resting for half an hour, the army launched operations. A third-tier battleship of the God King realm appeared in the starry sky, and the phalanx of 10,000 people quickly rushed into the battleship and flew towards the Shuojin area. The warships of the military are very fast, not much worse than the Battle King Tower, and it will not take long to reach the corresponding area. Mengang's eyes flickered, and in the end he sat obediently, waiting for the result. But after a while, another spatial fluctuation came from thousands of kilometers away on the other side. The four turned their heads to look at the same time, and the same team rushed in from the outside. The ones who came in this time were demons in military uniforms. The faces of the four changed drastically. Yuju's pretty face was slightly pale. It's the demon family. Without even thinking about it, an item similar to an array plate appeared in her hand. A long sword appeared in Meng Gang's hand, and he whispered, "It's too bad." Wang Zhenghao and Rong Ji also had weapons in their hands. As soldiers, they were not afraid of fighting. Thousands of demon race troops rushed in. The number was around 5,000. Among them are captains and commanders. The captain is a god king, and the leader is stronger. The demons did not form a phalanx. Although they were all demons, they came from different demon species. The body size is completely different. Some have wings, 4 limbs or even 6 limbs, some are 10 meters high, and some are only less than 1 meter. Such a strangely shaped team can't be formed even if you want to form it. As soon as they came in, they found Meng Gang and others, and Dang even killed them with a grin. The starry sky is vast, and there is nowhere to hide. Meng Gang and the others also know this. However, although their complexions were bad, they were not desperate. The skeleton god will not be a vegetarian. Sure enough, when the distance between the two sides is only 1,000 kilometers, the skeleton god will take the lead. The terrifying and sharp sword energy almost shattered the starry sky. Hundreds of sword chi swept across, and the few demons who charged at the front died on the spot. The body was swallowed and obliterated by the sword energy, and there was not even a bit of scum left. The demons behind were taken aback. They never thought that these skeletons would be so powerful. But there is no time for them to think. Once the skeleton god will make a move, it will be an endless situation. Hundreds of skeleton gods will rush out, also forming a formation, intertwined with sword energy, like a dense fishnet. The demons screamed, "It's a puppet of the god king realm. Battleship. Let go of the warship." While screaming, the demons expanded the field of law, hoping to resist. But the attack of the skeleton god general was too strong. Their law domain was torn apart like pieces of paper, and another group of demons died on the spot. After the hundreds of skeleton gods swung their sword energy, they rushed forward quickly, and rushed into the group of demons in a blink of an eye. Like wolves entering a herd of sheep, terrifying sword energy erupts in the crowd of demons. Only demons of the 8th and 9th ranks of true gods have no power to fight back against the skeleton generals of the 2nd rank of god kings. The 4 of Meng Gang were stunned, and once again refreshed their understanding of the skeleton general. At this time, among the group of demons, starlight flickered, and 2 huge warships appeared. The whole body of the warship was pitch black, and it was full of sharp corners. One was shining like ink, and the other was shrouded in the flames of the abyss. The warships of the demon clan, the weapons of war. The appearance of the demon warship made the hearts of Meng Gang and the others lift up again. Demon warships are extremely powerful, not much worse than human warships. After the warship appeared, the demon tribe flew into the warship one after another. They no longer fought recklessly with the skeleton god general, but used the warship to fight against him. The skeleton god will start a fight with the warship, and the sword energy will bombard the warship, which can only cause some insignificant injuries. The defense of the demon warship is extremely strong, and their attack is also extremely strong. Every attack can injure the skeleton general. The faces of Meng Gang and the others became ugly again, and they couldn't help holding the weapons in their hands firmly. If the skeleton god will not be able to stop the demon warship, it will be troublesome. Suddenly, the skeleton god general's body lit up with a pure white light, and the injury he received just now was quickly healed. The 4 of them turned their heads to look, only to find that there was a strange existence among the skeletons. This existence is silent, and was easily ignored by them before. General Lich, although not as powerful as skeleton god general, has the ability to increase and heal. With it, the combat effectiveness of the undead army has been greatly improved. The 2 sides fell into a stalemate, and neither could win the other. But Meng Gang and the others knew that it was all right. Meng Gang said, if they guessed correctly, they should have retreated in a while. After all, the demon army has a mission to come in, so it won't waste too much time here. There are only a few human races in the area, and it doesn't matter whether they kill or not. Sure enough, as Meng Gang said, after the battle lasted for half an hour, the 2 warships of the demon race suddenly turned around and flew deep into the starry sky. In a fruitless battle, more than 1,000 demons were injured. The 5,000 demons who came in suddenly dropped by 1/5. In this battle, Meng Gang's side won. After the demon left, Meng Gang and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Yu Zhu's eyes fluttered. The skeleton god general's combat power is too strong, and her interest in Lin Moyu is getting stronger and stronger. Facing the blue light, Lin Moyu came to the deepest part of Shuojin Star. Here is a big space, with blue light emitting everywhere, and there is a hint of purple faintly in the light. Lin Moyu opened his eyes slightly, and his consciousness returned. Before the arrival of the human army, the skeleton god will have a battle with the demon race, and he learned through the skeleton god. I still came in. It seems that the situation outside has changed. It should be a fight. I'm going to speed up. Lin Moyu looked at this blue to purple area, and felt that this should be the area where Su Jinzeng lived in a deep sleep on weekdays. But after thinking about it, it didn't feel right. If the gold-devouring beast really lived in the Shuojin Star, how could people who usually come to the Shuojin Star to look for the Shuojin essence fail to find it? That's not what's written in the documents. The way the gold-devouring beast appeared and how it left is unknown in the data. But there was clearly the aura of a gold-eating beast in front of him. Lin Moyu was sure that this was where the gold-eating Lu came out. But thinking about it again, although the space here is not small, it seems impossible to accommodate 10,000 gold-devouring beasts. Even if they are squeezed into a pile, they will not fit. It's really weird. Lin Moyu was puzzled. At this time, there was a ray of purple light floating in front of his eyes, and he stretched out his hands to hold the purple light. This is a thin line thinner than a hair, and the purple light flows, undulating on it like water ripples. This is the essence of Shuojin. Thinking in my heart, the soul took a slight breath, and a ray of purple light was immediately sucked into the soul's mouth. Then the soul showed a little refreshment, and Lin Moyu felt that his soul seemed to be a little bit stronger. It really is the essence of Shuojin. The essence of Shuojin is like a beautiful dancer, dancing in the small cave with purple light. The data only records that the essence of Shuojin has a miraculous effect on improving the defense of the soul, but it does not remember the specific appearance of the essence of Shuojin. Now Lin Moyu knows that Shuojin essence originally exists in the form of thin threads. It's a pity that there is not much Shuojin essence here. Only a small amount of less than 100 strands remains, most of which should have been eaten by the gold-devouring beasts. Lin Moyu inexplicably thought of the soul of the palm-sized gold-devouring beast, and felt that he must have been eaten by it, at least a lot. Could it be that the birth of the gold-devouring beast has something to do with the essence of gold? Although there are countless treasures in the big world, there are not too many treasures that can directly affect the soul. Shuojin essence is one, but it only improves the soul defense. Lin Moyu thought of a possibility, and said to himself, what if there is an omission in the information? What if the essence of Shuojin can help to open up spiritual wisdom? For cultivators like us, we already possess wisdom. Even if Shuojin essence has the ability to open up spiritual wisdom, it will not be discovered. The more I think about it, the more I think it's possible. Stretching out a hand, less than 100 strands of Shuojin essence in the cave were all sucked into the palm. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. Lin Moyu will not waste it. He turned around and left the cave, jumped onto the back of the golden eagle god king, and continued to fly towards the central area. With the speed of the golden eagle god king, he will be able to reach the real center in a few days. It is said that there is an incomparably huge Shuojin star there. How huge it is, there is no detailed description in the data. Some people have seen it from afar. The huge Shuojin stars are also accompanied by terrible poison. Even Zhen Jindan is not immune to the poison, and the third-level God King can't last long if he gets close. And coming here, the strongest is only the third rank of God King. So there became a mysterious area. Half a day later, at the outskirts of the Shuojin area, where the poison explosion occurred, a human battleship came from afar and stopped in the starry sky. After staying there for a few minutes, the battleship turned around the area covered by the poison explosion and flew in from the other side. After another half-day, the warships of the Demon Clan also arrived one after another. They also bypassed the area covered by the poison explosion. They and the human race did not choose the same direction, but entered from another direction. 2 days later, a bright spot of light appeared in the network cable. The light spots are like stars, exuding blue light. When Lin Moyu first saw it, he almost took it for the blue flame star he had seen before. It's the golden star in the center, which is comparable to a star, and it's a big guy called the golden source star. Shuojin origin star is the name given to it by the human race. Some people guess that the Shuojin in this area came from it. At this time, there are billions of kilometers away from it, and you can feel its obviousness and see it directly with the naked eye. It is said that the scale of this Shuo Jinyuan star may be beyond imagination. At the same time as seeing Shuo Jinyuan Xing, the person hunting a ray disk, which had not moved for many days, suddenly burst into bright light. Arrows appeared one after another, and in the blink of an eye, the number of arrows had exceeded 100. Then more arrows appeared, more and more, densely packed, stacked on top of each other. There are already thousands of arrows, pointing in almost the same direction. Each arrow represents one survivor, and thousands of arrows represent thousands of survivors. I didn't expect so many people to be alive. Are they resisting or are they being captured? According to the order in which the arrows appear, they are not together, but scattered, with some distance. Separate custody. What kind of operation is this? Lin Moyu analyzes based on the frequency of arrows. The speed of the Golden Eagle God King is too fast, approaching 100,000 kilometers per second. Even if the interval before and after the appearance is only 0.01 second, there is actually a big difference. It took less than 2 seconds for these arrows to appear from the first to the last. That is, the nearest one to the farthest one, the distance is about 200,000 kilometers apart. Things seem to be getting a little weird. Now they have approached the true center of Area 6 to 99, where the gold and silver stones are more poisonous. If there is no protective measures such as Zhenjin Dan, even the King of God will not survive for long. Blue smoke rose from the body of the Golden Eagle God King again, and the golden streamer covering his whole body was fading rapidly. The Golden Eagle God King took out a feather to activate it again, and blessed himself with a golden streamer to resist the poison. Lin Moyu felt that his skin was slightly hot, as if he was on fire. Even he felt this way. Obviously the poison here was far more poisonous than before. Judging from the highly poisonous situation here, those cultivators of the human race should not last long. However, some time has passed since they were captured by the gold-devouring beast, yet they are still alive. Things are getting weirder and weirder. What exactly is the gold-devouring beast going to do? All sorts of puzzles arose in his heart, and in less than 2 minutes, Lin Moyu finally saw the person pointed out by the county people. In the starry sky, a deep blue light is like a cage, and the best practitioners are locked in it. These practitioners are still alive, but have obviously lost consciousness. The starry sky is full of cages, tens of thousands in number. The cage is made of shuojin. The blue light not only traps cultivators of all races, but also blocks the poison so that they will not be poisoned to death. Shuojin itself can resist the poison. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. Gold and silver stones are companions of Shuojin, but they have never heard that Shuojin can block the poison of gold and silver stones. But the situation in front of him tells Lin Moyu that it is really possible. Obviously, the gold-devouring beast's understanding of Shuojin far exceeds that of the human race. Turning his eyes slightly, Lin Moyu suddenly realized something was wrong. These shujin that has become a cage are not simply shujin. There is purple light flowing inside, which belongs to the essence of shuojin. He immediately understood that it was not necessarily the shuojin that blocked the poison, but the essence of shuojin. In the starry sky, tens of thousands of shuojin cages, large or small, floated, imprisoning practitioners of various ethnic groups. Practitioners of all ethnic groups lost consciousness and became unconscious. Lin Moyu did not approach rashly, but observed quietly for a while from a distance. There must be a purpose for the gold-devouring beast to imprison them. Seeing that there was nothing wrong with the meat, Li's good, Lin Moyu turned to use the vision of the undead to observe. The eyes of the undead saw another perspective, and the color of the world was only gray and white, and the color became dull. Only the soul fire is still beating steadily. Soul fire. Lin Moyu saw a purple light appearing in the soul fire. That is the purple that belongs to Shuojin essence. The essence of Shuojin is integrated into the soul, and the soul of all people is like this. Obviously, these Shuojin essences were not inhaled by them themselves, but were forcibly stuffed in by the gold-devouring beast. Some people's souls have turned purple because of parts. For others, only a very small part is purple. What exactly is the gold-devouring beast going to do, son? Lin Moyu's thoughts had just arisen when he suddenly saw one of the soul fires turn completely purple. Then he saw that the soul fire had turned into a gold-devouring beast, and a palm-sized soul of a gold-devouring beast jumped out of the original owner's body. The original owner was a demon family, and after the soul of the gold-devouring beast jumped out, the demon lost its breath on the spot. No one can live without a soul. Lin Moyu thumped in his heart. What is this, to transform the soul? For a moment he didn't understand what the Gold Devourer was doing, but he knew what would happen next. These practitioners who are imprisoned in cages, no matter what race they are, will eventually have their souls transformed into gold-eating beasts, the kind of soul-eating gold-eating beasts with wisdom. The soul of this gold-devouring beast, Lin Moyu saw with his own eyes that his eyes quickly changed from confusion to clarity. He has wit. Immediately afterwards Lin Moyu saw him again, with a trace of disgust appearing in his eyes. This disgust comes from the original body, the terrifying and hideous demon body. Lin Moyu saw clearly and knew that he was right. After becoming the soul of the gold-devouring beast, he has become a member of the gold-devouring beast and hates his original body. The soul has become a member of the gold-devouring beast, even the thinking is the same. The soul of the newly born gold-devouring beast suddenly let out a scream. Like an order, a few gold-devouring beasts rushed over from the nearby starry sky, and ate up the golden cage that imprisoned the demon. After 2 or 3 bites, the demon's corpse was eaten by half. Became a gold-eating beast, not only hated his original body, but also ordered other gold-eating beasts without wisdom to eat it. It doesn't even leave residue, it's really cruel. Lin Moyu had seen a long time ago that there were a large number of gold-eating beasts hidden here, so he stopped at a long distance. At this time, there was a soft bang, and the body of a cultivator of the Bull Demon clan suddenly exploded. Lin Moyu saw that his soul was broken. Obviously, this kind of transformation is not guaranteed to be successful, and there is a certain probability of failure. But if there were more gold-devouring beasts like this, Lin Mo felt that a new race would be born in the world. Especially in this area, because of the existence of realm restrictions, the gold-devouring beasts are the absolute overlords, and external forces cannot affect them at all. As long as they don't leave here, no one can threaten them. In the big world, the birth and death of races are experienced almost all the time. The birth of new races and the demise of old races are extremely common. Lin Moyu would not be surprised if a new race was born here. But the birth of this race cannot be at the cost of human life. There are tens of thousands of creatures present, including more than 1,000 human beings. Lin Moyu doesn't care about the life and death of other races, it's none of his business. He is on a mission this time, coming to save people. It's fine if you don't see it, but if you see it, you have to save it. Although I still don't understand how the gold-devouring beast produces spiritual intelligence, it is no longer important. What matters now is how to save people. In the souls of these people, purple has more or less appeared, indicating that the transformation has begun. Lin Moyu doesn't know how to stop the transformation and get them back to their original state. The law of immortality, I don't know if it will work. At this point, let's treat a dead horse as a living horse, doctor. At least you can't just watch. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the Golden Eagle God King led him into a golden light and shot away. At this moment, the Golden Eagle God King activated his innate spell, and the speed reached 200,000 kilometers per second in a short period of time, 1/3 of the speed of light. Just a few seconds later, Lin Moyu rushed into the area where the various ethnic groups were imprisoned. Before the gold-devouring beast could react, he took out the space-fixing orb. The air-fixing bead was launched, and there was a light buzzing sound. The blue waves stopped instantly, and the spherical space with a diameter of tens of millions of kilometers became extremely stable. He had seen the little gold-devouring beasts in the soul state before, and knew that they had the ability to jump into the starry sky and use the blue waves of Shuojin to achieve effects similar to the laws of space. This is their advantage, and it is difficult to catch them. But when the space-fixing beads were activated, the blue waves were instantly frozen, making it difficult for them to escape. In fact, Lin Moyu is not 100% sure, but he has to try. There are more than tens of thousands of gold-eating beasts nearby, including elite members, captains, and even the gold-eating beast king. Lin Moyu didn't dare to take it lightly. As his heart moved, the skeletons came out in response. A throne appeared in the starry sky, the skeleton throne. The skeleton throne was blazing with flames, and the silver-white light illuminated the starry sky. The skeleton king, wearing a scarlet cloak, rose slowly from the throne, covered in flames. Immediately afterwards, the skeletons quickly merged and turned into a large number of skeleton generals. This time Lin Moyu didn't hold back, he wanted to make a quick decision. Since there are tens of thousands of gold-devouring beasts, then he will use 100,000 skeleton generals. Regardless of quantity or strength, they all form a crushing trend. The appearance of the Skeleton King is to deal with the possible existence of the gold-eating Beastmaster. After all, the weakest gold-eating Beast King is the third-level God King, and the strongest is the fourth-level God King. The Skeleton God will not be an opponent, and he can only use the Skeleton King. The Skeleton God rushed out frantically and entered the void. The gold-eating beasts in the hidden blue light were instantly killed piece by piece. Their concealment methods are useless in front of the Skeleton God General, and the soul fire is so vivid and clear. The soul of the palm-sized gold-devouring beast was first shocked and then horrified. The gold-devouring beast lost too quickly, and the number of opponents was too large. Each one is comparable to the captain-level gold-eating beasts, and their army can't resist them at all. He glanced at Lin Moyu viciously, and let out a scream, as if ordering the gold devourer to fight back, while he jumped towards the void, trying to escape from here. But he didn't disappear. The void seemed to hit a wall and was hit back hard. It's like someone diving into the water, only to find out after taking off that the surface of the water has turned into a thick block of ice. The corner of Lin Moyu's mouth twitched. It's impossible to escape. Pointing out, red light filled the sky. Fusion spell, Curse of Time. Soul Burning, Soul Poison, and Soul Curse, the three major soul spells are combined into one, and their power is greatly enhanced. The Curse of Time specifically targets the soul. The soul of the newly born gold-devouring beast screamed on the spot, and its small body curled up quickly, trembling. His escape failed. Looking at Lin Moyu, and then at the group of gold-eating beasts who were rapidly losing hope, his eyes showed despair. It will be desperate, not bad, not bad. Although the two sides did not communicate, his eyes vividly explained some problems. He didn't want to die, but he was also very afraid of death. He looked at Lin Moyu, his lips parted slightly, as if he wanted to say something. But Lin Moyu didn't ask him about his plan. As he once said, the words of a living person may not be true. He prefers to believe the words of the dead, and Lin Moyu also intends to use him for experiments. The soul of the little gold-devouring beast still has some remnants of the original owner's body, and it has not been eaten. Lin Moyu pointed out that a stream of undead flames fell on the remaining corpses. Della spell, Raise the Dead. The corpse was quickly reborn, and then an irresistible suction force came, dragging the soul of the gold-devouring beast into the new body. Sure enough. Lin Moyu smiled. Although the soul is dead, the connection between the soul and the body has not been completely severed. Under the spell, the body was revived, and the hidden rules found the soul that belonged to the original corpse. The little gold-devouring beast's soul was horrified, and was pulled back into the original owner's body by some mysterious rules. From the body to the soul, they have all become resurrected. Lin Moyu is very sure through the induction with the resurrected. This weird guy with the body of a demon and the soul of a gold-devouring beast in front of him is his resurrection. The resurrected man prostrated himself in front of Lin Moyu, with his head lowered and his body trembling. This is the reaction caused by the panic of the soul. Although he has become a resurrected person, he obviously still has a sense of belonging to the golden cover. But these are not important. He is now a resurrected person, and he is a dead person. That is enough. The dead cannot tell lies. They are more reliable than the living. Tell me everything you know. Lin Moyu ordered. After becoming a resurrected person, there is no concealment situation. Even if he said he was going to die, as long as Lin Moyu ordered him, he would still say it. Soon, through his narration, Lin Moyu knew some of the incident. In the group of gold-devouring beasts, an emperor was born. For some reasons, the gold-devouring beast emperor developed spiritual wisdom. After the gold-eating beast king developed intelligence, he found a way to make more gold-eating beasts develop intelligence. The king of gold-eating beasts made a plan. It intends to create more gold-eating beasts with spiritual intelligence, and even create the gold-eating Zeng clan here. The most important part of the plan is to need enough practitioners. Use the body of the cultivator to create a gold-eating beast with spiritual intelligence. Lin Moyu saw the purple rays of light in the souls of various races before, which were the souls of the gold-devouring beasts that had absorbed enough Shujin essence. As long as enough Shujin essence is absorbed, the soul of the gold-devouring beast can be mutated, and in the process of mutating, the soul of the cultivator can be devoured to give birth to wisdom. The gold-devouring beast with intelligence will exist in the form of soul. At the same time, their existence form will be much higher than ordinary gold-devouring beasts, and they can command ordinary gold-devouring beasts. Of course, this is not a long-term solution. In addition to this, there is a second step in the plan, which is to have a brand new physical body. This step has actually been successful. According to him, the gold-devouring beast emperor already has a brand new physical body, and it is very powerful. It's just that he doesn't know how his own emperor did it. As for these souls that have been stained purple, Chan Yubijiu is hopeless. The souls of the two have actually merged into one, or they will succeed and sublimate into a gold-devouring beast in the state of soul. Either fail, explode and die, there will be no third result. Hearing this, Lin Moyu's heart sank slightly. If he didn't know, the resurrected person would not lie, and he would even try to force a confession with his words and deeds. Is there really no other way? After pondering for a few breaths, Lin Moyu still decided to give it a try. He played a law of immortality and got into the nearest human cultivator. The soul of this human cultivator was only stained by about 1/10 of the purple light, which is a relatively mild one. Even though he couldn't save him, others don't have to worry about it. The law of immortality turned into the power of life and penetrated into the other party's soul world. The power of life nourishes the soul, and Lin Moyu can feel that the flame of the other party's soul suddenly becomes vigorous. But while the soul flame became more vigorous, the purple light erosion seemed to become a bit faster. Both sides are strengthened, and the situation only gets worse. With a move in Lin Moyu's heart, the power of life was instantly transformed into the power of death. The power of death began to obliterate the soul, obliterating the purple area in the soul. His body in a coma began to tremble crazily, as if he had been electrocuted, shaking non-stop. The power of death is like a grinding wheel, constantly grinding its soul. Under the erosion of the power of death, the soul occupied by the purple light quickly rotted until the purple light disappeared completely, and the soul regained its purity. Soul wounded. This is inevitable. The loss of a piece of soul is an unimaginable disaster for any cultivator. Once the soul is severely injured, it is very difficult to recover. But for Lin Moyu, as long as the trauma of the soul is not too serious, the power of life can heal. After obliterating the soul of the gold-devouring beast, the power of death was transformed into the power of life again, like a rain nourishing the soul. Under the action of the force of life, the soul gradually began to recover. Although he was still in a coma, the shaking of his body had stopped. Lin Moyu exhaled lightly, his own law of immortality was indeed miraculous. Then he stopped hesitating, multitasking, and started saving people. Only save the cultivators of the human race, as for people of other races, it's none of his business. The battle of the skeleton god general is still going on. There is no gold-eating beastmaster here, so the skeleton king doesn't need to do anything. Lin Moyu knew that the battle would not last long. None of the tens of thousands of gold-eating beasts here can escape. In the starry sky full of gold and silver stones, the team of human troops is passing through like sharp arrows. With more and more shuojin, they had to abandon the battleship. Ask for flowers. The battleship is indeed very strong, and can withstand the continuous impact of shuojin and gold and silver stones. But this will consume a lot, and the battleship also needs a huge energy supply to operate. Good steel is used on the cutting edge, so don't waste it if you can. The phalanx was broken up into 100 teams, each with 100 people, keeping a considerable distance from each other, and quickly advancing in the shuojin group. The commander flying in the front has the realm of the third-level god king, and he holds a huge array in his hand. The person finding a ray disc, but it is twice as large as the one in Lin Moyu's hand. A huge energy stone is inlaid in the formation disk, and at the same time, the leader is also continuously supplying energy for the formation disk. The majestic energy overflowed in the starry sky, which also greatly increased the effectiveness of the person-finding array. He can find human cultivators within tens of billions of kilometers. At this moment, a huge arrow pointed somewhere, guiding the entire team forward. If you look carefully, this arrow can be subdivided into many strands, and each strand is a human cultivator. They all point to the same direction, the same starry sky. There are more and more gold and silver stones in front of them, and the toxicity in the starry sky begins to intensify. The team stopped until a golden star with a diameter of 1,000 meters appeared. Everyone took out Zhenjiandan and took it at the same time. Their movements were uniform and well-trained. A few seconds later, the team started to move forward again, flying over the golden star. Just as they passed Shuojin Xingchen suddenly shook violently. This movement immediately attracted the attention of many people, and the leader's face changed drastically. He thought of what Meng Gang had said. Poison explosion. ... The stars exploded with poison. ... His complexion changed drastically, and a shrunken battleship appeared in his hand, and he threw it into the void, and the battleship suddenly became larger. At the same time he snapped, "Get into the battleship." The soldiers ordered and prohibited, and went directly into the battleship without the slightest hesitation. The Shuojin stars exploded, and the poisonous powder swept across the starry sky. The commander's face changed drastically, and he shouted angrily, "Quick!" Everyone speeded up and rushed into the battleship, and then the battleship turned into a streamer and rushed forward. At this time, energy consumption is no longer considered, and you can fly as fast as you can. The commander still had lingering fears. Fortunately, Meng Gang reminded himself, which made his reaction 2 or 3 seconds earlier. These 2 or 3 seconds are the speed of life and death. At this time, the battleship suddenly vibrated, and his face changed drastically again.